Oh, hey there, guys. Welcome to Wasteland Games. This is the final paint job on my Gaslands UK contest submission that was posted on the Facebook groups, well, for Gaslands in the UK. And yeah, I thought I'd participate in. Actually, I was invited to participate, which was really cool. And I had planned on doing a tank at some point, and actually I wanted to do a steampunk vehicle. So this was great to be able to do both things at the same time. Yeah, as you can see, in terms of the detailing, I've managed to paint various parts of the vehicle, in I guess steampunkish colors, and yeah, really interested in just kind of explaining what I had done in terms of the base colors, and what I was thinking in terms of just coming up with the final look for you guys. And you're more than welcome to do the same thing if you like. Yeah, always let me know in the comment section down below what you think, and what I could have done differently. So anyways, so at this point, basically, I was just going to mix some paints together. These are, well, with the exception of the dollar store black, everything is pretty good paints in general. I would recommend that you use some pretty half-decent acrylic paint. So I mixed a combination of brown, burnt sienna is usually the color I use. I use a little bit of the Games Workshop metallic, like silver, and a little bit of white, and a little bit of black as well. So basically, I think I used probably a little bit too much paint, so I probably wasted more than I should have, because I'm going to be doing a dry brush, and what I should have used actually was a regular brush to actually mix the paint, but I ended up using my makeup brush to mix everything. So of course I had to spend extra time just kind of getting off a lot of the excess paint. So I would recommend that you do the same thing. If you're going to try to do some dry brushing, maybe mix your color up first. But yeah, I was thinking with the brown and all the mix of colors, it was going to be more of like an earthy gray looking color at the end. So I didn't really have anything that kind of matched what I wanted. So I kind of just made my own paint. And as you can see, it's a little still on the runny side. So the fact that it's got this cheap black dollar store paint in here, I can kind of just wipe it off, which is okay. So you want to get the brush reasonably dry, which is where you get the term dry brush from. So I found it was still had a lot of paint on it. But once you get to the right consistency, you could just kind of just rub, spread the brush all over the vehicle, and just want to get all the high points and kind of really just blend it in all over the vehicle. So also, just to recap some of the components that I used in the tank. So this is a mix of an actual Revell German tank, and also an HO scale locomotive that I picked up actually at an antique market. So my thinking was to combine the fact that this is a steampunk vehicle, was to combine the look of a locomotive train and a tank at the same time. And there was an image actually I had found online that I use as sort of inspiration, next to the fact that one of my favorite Transformers, Megatron, actually ended up, well, I still wish he was a gun, but he ended up being a tank in the majority of the latest continuity. So and I kind of wanted to build a steampunk Megatron as well. So that was also the inspiration to look at building something like this. So I knew that Optimus Prime had his own sort of train mode, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to build something for Megatron as well. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you guys, the total coverage of dry brushing an entire vehicle. Hopefully you don't mind, but you want to get like the whole thing covered, the top and the bottom. But at the same time too, I want to kind of also walk through various areas here just to kind of recap on the build itself. So I'm painting the bottom of the engine. The rear piece, or sorry, the undercarriage was actually part of like a tractor trailer bulldozer, as well as the original chassis of not only the tank, but the centerpiece was actually from the original train that I took apart as well. So I kind of used that as like there was like a hump for the transmission. I thought it would be kind of cool to put it on the bottom of the tank and leave that there as well. So you can definitely see that still being shown. So this is the base color. Kind of like an earthy gray. I had still, I didn't touch the light bulb at all. I kind of want to keep that on the top of the tank very, unpainted. And when you when you're playing with paints, try not to get too much on your hands, because you'll get it on your model and you'll really have a kind of a bad day. But the fact that this is a steampunk vehicle, I was thinking, a lot of the colors is like copper, bronze, like the age. Bronze is typically known as the Bronze Age, I guess, for steampunk. And I also thought about gold and using the silver as well. So I definitely thought that copper should go on at least a lot of the piping and the round areas. I thought of these rounded parts as like kettles, or almost like I guess beer kettles in some sense. But I thought that the fact that they were round, I thought, I'll paint them copper to really kind of give it a bit of a pop at the back. To highlight the fact that the engine was actually a custom built, and to really kind of highlight the true sort of power that's going to come from this thing. And I kept using the copper color on, well, this is actually the sprue. I think actually it's the sprue, one of the sprue pieces from the tank itself. I used that as an interesting way to, I guess, move the flow of power from the front to the back. And I like the sprue piece because it had the mounting points that I was going to be able to mount some watch parts on, like the winders for a watch. I wanted them to be sort of like the valves. And so the idea is like, you can turn the valves on and off for the piping. And that's kind of what I went for. And then, to continue on with the smokestack of the tank, and a lot of the other like coils, any other piping I wanted to cover in brass. And kind of even like even the opening of the tank, I thought the top of the tank needed to be a little bit more steampunky. So I thought, okay, I'll put on brass wherever I can find it. So after I used a decent amount of bronze all over the tank itself, making sure I cover all the pipes and just a few coils here and there, just kind of really make a few parts stand out. I started to work on the linkage for the wheels themselves, and these are the original components that come off of an HO scale train. Then I highlighted this like square. Actually, this was a window covering that I got in a Tamiya sprue. There was a couple of kits in some previous videos that I bought, for like accessory pieces, and just felt that could use a little detail on the top of the tank. Then after using the bronze and the silver, I moved on to using gold, and then I started painting the sandbags, sort of this like browny kind of color, and then I highlighted them with like a lighter shade of brown as well. and I thought it looked pretty cool. And then now it's basically working on kind of repainting bronze. Bronze I felt was a really dark color, so I thought it'd be good to kind of just go over a few areas where I did use bronze and instead of copper. Sorry, and then also just kind of now I'm going over a few of the silver areas that I felt were still kind of black, and I kind of wanted to blend them in a little bit more as well. So just kind of as I see a few pieces here and there, like the copper on the smokestack looked a little on the dull side, so I wanted to use the light in the room to kind of enhance each layer, and plus there was a few parts of it that weren't quite painted nicely. I might not have seen it in the lighting outside, but or when I painted it originally, but I was able to spot where I needed to fix a few problems. You might also notice in the shot there, the gear, I decided to paint it in a few different colors. So I painted, I think, the centerpiece gold, and then I highlighted the teeth marks in, you can see it there, with the silver. And then the centerpiece, actually the cover of the gear, was one of the original tank track parts. It actually fit right in the hole, and really kind of gave it that overall sprue look from actually I take inspiration from an RC car for that, and I used to race RC cars back in the 80s, and still a big fan of those. So every now and then I'd like to kind of pay homage to that too. Now for the smokestack, this is just adding cheap dollar store makeup for soot, I guess. Just kind of blacken it up a little bit. I kind of had a plan in mind for this, so I wasn't too concerned with it being completely shown. And then, as you can see here, I hid the Decepticon symbol on the bottom of the tank. I was going to put it on the side and really make it Megatron, but I thought some people might not really like that, and it's mainly fun for myself, so I put it on the bottom. And then another kind of interesting surprise was to create create smoke coming out of the smokestack itself. So this is the end result of putting everything together. I thought basically the the pillow stuffing really kind of looked animated, almost like alive in the end, and quite frankly it was actually the first time I've ever done that. So I was pretty pleased that it actually turned out. I liked the light bulb from the original. As you can see, nice close up, the light bulb from the original train that I took apart, that I picked up from an antique market. And then as you can see, I incorporated all the parts from the train, from the Decepticon symbol to the chassis, and kind of married it up with this with the tank kit itself, and created something that was pretty cool. As you can see, I used bronze in the doors, gold where I can as well, copper obviously in a lot of the tubing, and left the majority of it more of like the earthy gray and metallic colors. And then for the tracks themselves, I actually glued stone to cover up some of the gaps that were there when I was doing the construction, and I highlighted those I kind of painted them brown, and then I used actually just white directly on them, just kind of really make them stand out, so you can kind of hopefully see it in any of these photos. And it moves not gracefully if you push it yourself and run into your own hand, but yeah, I just kind of like messing around with it. That it, basically with the smokestack itself, it's got some movement, and I think it looks pretty good. So if you guys like it, let me know, and make some comments down below. And hopefully you guys like this entry into the Gaslands UK challenge. I thought it was a lot of fun to build, and looking forward to more in the future. Thanks a lot for stopping by.